Hi everybody, my name is Brian. Welcome to my music room. I am very excited to share with you the newest member of our musical instrument family. Here I have a very special instrument to show you and to tell you all about, and it is a modern Dreadnought by Urlacher guitars. Rebecca Urlacher in Bend, Oregon built this guitar custom for me, and I am excited to walk through and show you the various features of this instrument. The first thing that I need to tell you is that having an instrument of this caliber is not something that I would ever be able to do on my own. This is a product of incredible generosity. A friend almost a couple years ago now, out of the blue, asked me if I were to have my dream guitar, what would it be? And then proceeded to tell me that he wanted to help me get my dream guitar. And so this is an amazing gift, and I am very grateful for it. I did a lot of research with boutique luthiers. There's a whole crop of wonderful guitar makers out there making guitars, and I settled on Rebecca Urlacher. I was very drawn to her guitars because of her artistic sensibilities. I really liked the artwork she does on her guitars. She's not super into bling. She doesn't, have abalone splashing all over the place. She's very understated, muted, a lot of earth tones. Really liked that. And then I had the opportunity to go to Bend and meet her and play several of her guitars. And I was, to say I was impressed would be an understatement. I was blown away by her guitars and the build. So that was about 20 months ago. I hired her to build me a guitar, and here we are 20 months later, and it has arrived. The Rebecca Urlacher Modern Dreadnought. So what I'm going to do is I want to walk you through the artwork, the art design of this guitar. Then I'll talk about the actual build of the guitar, and then I'll play it for you a little bit. So first of all, the art design, as you can tell, is quite unique. When I lived in Scotland for 3 years, and when we were there, we really became enamored with a Scottish designer by the name of Charles Rennie Mackintosh. And I thought if I were to have a custom guitar, I would like to have Charles Rennie Mackintosh provide the artistic inspiration. And so that's what we did. So let me show you. So Charles Rennie Mackintosh did these famous chairs for Miss Cranston's tea rooms in Glasgow, Scotland. I've had the privilege of being there and having coffee at Miss Cranston's. And I just love that design. And lo and behold, Rebecca took that design, and Charles Rennie's chair is now on the headstock of this guitar. Absolutely gorgeous inlay into that ebony. That's ebony on the top of the headstock there. And then inlaid is Charles Rennie's chair. So that was the inspiration for the headstock. The rosette was a little bit more difficult. We didn't have much of an idea of how to really match that headstock with a good rosette design. But Rebecca took some inspiration from Charles Rennie's work with geometric designs. He loved geometric designs. So she took inspiration from this. This is a book cover, but that's one of his designs. See, you've got a Macintosh rose there, and then all of those geometric dots and so forth. And so she came up with this rosette design, which is just really stunning. And then, of course, Charles Rennie's also known for geometric designs in stained glass, and of course, above all else, the rose. And so that's what we have on our fretboard here, our fret marker. We have one fret marker, and there is the stained glass and the rose. Absolutely incredible inlay. Just amazing. Just gorgeous. So that's the artistic design of this guitar, and I think you'll agree with me that Rebecca just absolutely knocked it out of the park. So I've got my Charles Rennie guitar, which is, that's definitely, this is more actually than I envisioned when I dreamed up, you know, what it might be like. This is far beyond what I expected. So great job from Rebecca there. So that's the artwork. Let's talk about the actual build of the guitar. You could probably move over there. It's such a low budget with the cameraman. So this is a modern Dreadnought. It doesn't look like it's shaped like a Dreadnought because, well, the modern Dreadnought has rounded out some of these curves to make the guitar a little bit more comfortable for the player. You know, that old classic pear design for a Dreadnought was kind of bulky and hard to, you know, just wasn't very comfortable. So this is the modern Dreadnought. So it's essentially the same size. It's just more comfortable. We have an ebony fretboard here, and this is not just any ebony. It is as perfect a piece of ebony as you'll ever see. It is jet black, to the point where it's hard to believe that that isn't stained in any way. Looks like somebody took wood and just jet black stain on it. No, that's just what the ebony looks like. Amazing piece of ebony. These are Evo Gold frets, which I think you'll agree are absolutely gorgeous, lovely. They're a little more durable than your typical nickel frets. So that's the fretboard. The soundboard. Our soundboard is Lutz spruce. Lutz is a variety of spruce that's a hybrid, a natural hybrid between two other kinds of spruce, white spruce and Sitka spruce. In fact, this is a Sitka. This is Sitka spruce right here. Absolutely beautiful. But there's a natural hybrid that's called Lutz spruce, and it occurs in British Columbia and Alaska. And it's a little bit of a denser wood, I understand. That's what I'm led to believe. Gives a little bit of a different tonal quality. But this is just exceptional Lutz spruce. Grains are so tight and so consistent. And one of the things that Rebecca's very good at as a luthier is voicing her soundboards. So she has tapped this, and she's crafted it into an exceptional soundboard for this guitar. So that's Lutz spruce, and on the back and sides are the kind of the showstoppers of this particular guitar. This is a premium Brazilian rosewood, and it's not just any rosewood. This is an exceptional piece of rosewood. The figuring on this wood and these grains is spectacular. Look at this flare, like the luster, the natural luster on that wood is just exceptional. So this way, it's exceptional. Brazilian rosewood is one of the most sought after tone woods in the world because it is just widely considered to be the best tone wood. But also, it's hard to get because there's a lot of legal wranglings with import and export rules. There was a ban on harvesting Brazilian rosewood at some point. And so essentially guitar makers are left with whatever their existing stock is now in the States, which, as you can imagine, would makes it scarce and pricey. But this is just an exceptional example of Brazilian rosewood. So that's the sides and the back are rosewood. Ebony binding, absolutely beautiful ebony binding. A little maple strip in there as well, I believe. And then we'll come back up around here to the neck. The neck is Honduran mahogany. And we had toyed with the idea of staining this neck to kind of darken it, to kind of match that Brazilian. And we decided against that because the grains on this mahogany are so beautiful. and that just turned out so warm and beautiful. Got some really excellent high-end tuning machines on there. And yeah, it's beautiful. So as you can see, this guitar looks like $1 million. That's the build. Lutz, Brazilian. How does it sound? That's the proof is in the pudding, right? Well, what makes a guitar like this special? Essentially, guitars have strengths and weaknesses, and it's really hard to find a guitar that just has everything that you would want out of a guitar. So let's just say you like a really deep resonant bass sound out of a guitar. Well, the classic thing to do is go get yourself a Martin, right? I mean, Martin is just known for that big booming bass. But then a lot of times what you'll find in a guitar like that is that it sacrifices things elsewhere on the guitar. You might have a great bass, but your trebles can be thin and anemic. You're not going to have really sweet tones up high. Other guitars, you'll find that, wow, I love that treble. It's really bright. It's really punchy. This is great. But then your bass is kind of meh, you know, not great. Other guitars are just muddy throughout the frequency range. Like the notes aren't all clear and they're all just kind of muddied together. So this is the challenge of finding a really great guitar. And so what we have here is a guitar that is essentially, in my opinion, perfection in all of those categories. You can't actually find a weakness in an instrument like this. So if you like bass, well, let me just strum a chord for you and you can get a sense for it. This is low budget operation, so I don't have any microphones, there's no reverb or anything. You're getting just the dry, raw sound of this instrument. You like bass? Okay. But nice sweet notes. Got great mids. So just to give you an example, great bass, great trebles, great mids, it's a powerhouse. That combination of Brazilian rosewood and that spruce it's a guitar that I just can't overplay. A lot of times when I'm playing a guitar, you find that it just reaches its maximum like output or capacity too soon. For me, I have a strong attack as a player, and it's really frustrating to be playing a guitar, and just when I'm taking flight, getting this guitar to do what I want it to do, it just sort of flatlines. It doesn't take off and soar. And I mean, like, this thing is just a sonic, I think it's a sonic monster. It's gonna do whatever I want it to do. So with all of that said, I'll just play a few things, you know, that I've composed over the years for some of my songs, just to give you a variety of the kinds of sounds you can get out of this guitar. So we'll see how it goes. Something I forgot to mention about Rebecca's guitars is her guitars have an exceptional sustain. I joke, and I'm not exaggerating by much, that I can play this chord and I feel like I can go make myself a cup of coffee, and when I come back, this thing is still gonna be ringing. It's still ringing. It rings forever. It's incredible. You have to play it and experience it to really understand what I'm talking about. It's quite remarkable. It's the Rebecca Urlacher modern Dreadnought custom guitar, Lutz spruce top, Brazilian rosewood back and sides, and I hope you enjoyed this video.